You are listening beneath the quiet weight of the night. Somewhere above your skin, the air thins into silence. We call it the edge of space, the faint and shimmering line where the blue of the world surrenders to black. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Tonight, we drift toward that invisible threshold where wind becomes vacuum, where sound becomes light, where the sky forgets its color. The ancient poet Rilke once wrote, "The sky puts on the darkening blue coat held close by a single silver button. Light that left its star before you were born is touching your skin tonight." The word edge suggests something sharp, a border, a barrier. But in truth, the edge of space is a blur. There is no wall, no fence, no sudden stop. Just air thinning molecule by molecule until there is almost none at all. At about 100 kilometers above the Earth's sea level, 62 miles, lies the Kármán line, the internationally accepted border between atmosphere and space. It's not a rule of nature, but of agreement. A mathematical whisper. Beyond this, the air is too thin to support aerodynamic flight. A plane can no longer stay aloft by wings alone. Only rockets can climb higher. It is a quiet change, a breath fading away. You can rest now. At the surface, the air presses on every square inch of your skin with about 1 kilogram of force. At the edge of space, that pressure has fallen by a factor of 1,000,000. One breath here could fill an entire room up there. The molecules that make up your every inhale, nitrogen, oxygen, argon, become so rare that they drift for kilometers without touching another. And yet, even here, the Earth still reaches upward. Gravity, tender and unbroken, extends forever. It does not end at 100 kilometers. It fades slowly, never gone. You are held by it always, even as you sleep. It's okay to drift. At sunrise from that altitude, the Earth curves like a great slow wave. The horizon bends gently, stretching in both directions, glowing with a line of electric blue, the thin skin of air that keeps oceans from boiling and lungs from burning. Astronauts often describe this layer as fragile, luminous, heartbreakingly small. It's no thicker proportionally than the skin of an apple. And yet, within it, every bird that ever lived has flown. Every word ever spoken has echoed. Every breath you've taken has belonged to it. Imagine floating there at the edge. The sky below glows cobalt and violet. The black above is not truly black, but infinite indigo, speckled with stars that no longer twinkle. Sound cannot reach you now. Sound cannot reach you. There is only heartbeat, breath, and the faint hum of the vessel that carries you. Somewhere beneath the winds are fierce and circular. Jet streams swirl at 300 kilometers per hour, invisible rivers of motion sculpting the weather. They carry the seeds of rain, the scents of continents, the dust of deserts. And as they rise, their song fades, the melody of air dissolving into quiet. The edge of space is not empty. It glows. Charged particles from the sun, electrons and protons, traveling at hundreds of kilometers per second, strike the upper atmosphere and paint it with light. We call this the aurora. Green curtains, pink veils, silent waves of plasma, dancing between 100 and 400 kilometers high. They move faster than storms, slower than dreams. You can rest now. Even higher, at 300 kilometers, satellites drift through the exosphere, orbiting once every 90 minutes. Each circle is a heartbeat of technology. They see continents drift into night clouds, unraveling cities flickering like neurons. The International Space Station, a cathedral of glass and metal, crosses this line 16 times each day. To its travelers, there are 16 sunrises, 16 nights, 16 chances to whisper goodnight to Earth. And as you breathe, the edge of space breathes with you. Every exhale adds a few more molecules to the atmosphere. Every leaf, every ocean wave, every human sigh participates in this endless exchange. The air you breathe tonight may someday rise thin and drift beyond the Kármán line, becoming part of that fragile shimmer above the planet's curve. Somewhere light continues to travel. It's okay to drift. Let's rest a moment in the thermosphere, a name that means heat sphere. Despite the coldness of space nearby, this layer can reach over 1500 degrees Celsius. But temperature here is a trick of definition. The air is so thin that a thermometer would not feel it. There are almost no molecules to share their warmth. If you could float here without a suit, your body would not burn. It would freeze. Heat is not the same as warmth. The boundary between air and vacuum is not a single place. It is a region of negotiation. Below, molecules dance in crowded chaos. Above, they drift like solitary wanderers. At this boundary, Earth and space exchange their breath. Tiny fragments of air slip upward, lost forever. Tiny fragments of space, cosmic dust, solar wind, drift downward, becoming part of our sky. And through all of it, light travels. A photon born in the heart of the sun crosses 150 million kilometers in 8 minutes, slides through clouds and ozone, touches mountain stone, and ends its journey on your eyelid. It has seen no boundaries, only gradients, only the slow blending of what we call here and what we call beyond. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Above 80 kilometers, meteor trails begin to glow. Tiny grains of rock, no larger than sand, streak through the mesosphere at speeds near 70 kilometers per second. The friction excites air molecules, causing a flash of light that lasts a heartbeat. We call them shooting stars. But they are not stars. They are dust. Ancient cosmic dust left by comets, burning as they fall into air. Every hour, Earth gathers about 100 tons of this dust. You may find one of those particles in the soil beneath your feet. It's okay to drift. The boundary between atmosphere and space is home to many secrets. There are noctilucent clouds, night-shining clouds suspended 80 kilometers high. They shimmer silver blue against the twilight formed from ice crystals and meteoric dust. No one saw them before the industrial age. Perhaps they are newborn of our changed atmosphere. They are the highest clouds on Earth, so high they are almost no longer Earth at all. If you could see them now, you would notice how they ripple like silk, silent, slow waves moved by unseen winds. Their light is not sunlight, but memory. They glow from the rays of a sun already set, still scattering through the thin air of evening. A gentle reminder that what has ended still glows for a while. You can rest now. The layers below troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere are the gradual stairs of the world's breath. At sea level, sound travels at 343 meters per second. By 80 kilometers, sound almost ceases. Words cannot climb higher. The sky becomes mute, and yet radio waves move freely. They bounce between Earth and the ionosphere, circling the globe in milliseconds. The voice of a sailor in 1925 could still be traveling faint and endless between layers of charged air. Some scientists believe the atmosphere remembers these signals, holding a ghostly echo of every broadcast that ever was. If you could listen from space, perhaps you would hear whispers, laughter, music, languages long forgotten, all faintly rippling in the electric skin of the world. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. The ionosphere itself, from 60 to 1000 kilometers high, is a living mirror. It reflects, bends, and swallows radio waves. During the day, solar radiation ionizes its gases. At night, it relaxes. It pulses gently with the rhythm of the sun and the turning earth. Even at this edge, there is still rhythm and atmosphere with a heartbeat. It's okay to drift. Sometimes we call this place the gateway, not because it leads somewhere else, but because it reminds us how connected everything remains. Gravity from the earth, magnetism from the sun, radiation from stars, all cross this invisible threshold. The boundaries between worlds are softer than we imagine. Scientists studying the edge of space use weather balloons, sounding rockets, and satellites to measure its secrets. They track temperature gradients, particle densities, and wind velocities at heights where no human breath can survive. One measurement from 2023 showed atomic oxygen moving at nearly 7,000 meters per second, faster than a bullet, yet gentle enough to whisper across your skin if it could reach you. This layer, halfway between home and infinity, is where human flight becomes cosmic travel. It is where airplanes become spacecraft, where sky becomes universe. And still, it is all one atmosphere. You can rest now. When astronauts look down from orbit, they often describe an unexpected emotion, the overview effect. It is a cognitive shift, a deep sense of unity and tenderness for the world. To see Earth small, round, and alive against the endless black is to understand that boundaries are illusions. There is no true edge, only gradients and belonging. One astronaut described it this way: the thin line of blue air looks like a thread holding the world together. You want to reach out and keep it from breaking. And somewhere, as you lie here, breathing the same thin air that holds oceans and mountains together, holds you too. Your breath mingles with the breath of the world, the same molecules that once touched a comet or an oak or the skin of another human being centuries ago. You are already part of the edge of space. It's okay to drift. Above it all, beyond 500 kilometers, the atmosphere fades into the solar wind, a stream of charged particles moving outward at 400 kilometers per second. This is the beginning of true space, where atoms born in stars scatter freely between worlds. Yet even here, Earth's influence lingers. Its magnetic field extends thousands of kilometers farther, catching particles, shaping auroras, protecting oceans and life. The edge of space is not the end. It is a veil. Thin, beautiful, translucent. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. And so, as you rest beneath this breathing planet, imagine yourself floating between air and vacuum. Below, the world glows, with blue and green spinning at 1600 kilometers per hour. Above, the constellations drift silent and patient. Between them, you, suspended in the stillness, between breath and infinity. You are safe here. You can rest now. The universe holds you, The air above you grows thin, and we rise together through it. Not by motion, but by attention. Slowly, softly, as though your mind itself could lift into the upper sky. We have left the comfort of the troposphere now, the layer where weather is born. Below us, clouds fold and unfold like slow breathing. Above us, light begins to scatter into silver. You can rest now. The stratosphere stretches from about 12 to 50 kilometers above the sea. Here, ozone gathers sunlight and breaks it apart. Each molecule absorbs a photon, a packet of light energy, and splits oxygen into fragments that drift and rejoin. This process, quiet and ceaseless, keeps most of the sun's ultraviolet light from reaching the surface. Without it, the skin of the world would burn. And yet the layer itself is fragile, barely a few millimeters thick, if compressed to sea level pressure. Thin as a sigh, somewhere near 20 kilometers, commercial jets glide their contrails fading into the blue. Their passengers see the world's curve just beginning, like a promise. Mountains seem small, storms like soft spirals of cream. Even here, the air moves at hundreds of kilometers per hour, invisible rivers of wind, carrying heat from equator to pole. Each current, each eddy, each gentle ripple of temperature helps balance the world's breath. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Higher still, at 50 kilometers, the stratosphere gives way to the mesosphere, a colder, darker realm. Temperatures fall to 90 degrees Celsius. This is the coldest part of the atmosphere, where ice crystals form around the dust of meteor trails. Every night, these particles become the seed of light. Noctilucent clouds shimmer here, 80 kilometers above your pillow, rippling with silver waves, long after the sun has gone. They are the highest clouds, the most delicate mirrors of twilight. It's okay to drift. Scientists once thought this layer was empty, too remote for study. But modern instruments, thin balloons, radar echoes, satellites have found that it hums with faint electrical life. Tiny discharges called sprites and elves flash above thunderstorms invisible from the ground. Each one lasts less than 1,000th of a second, yet some stretch 30 kilometers high. They are the lightning of the edge, born from storms that cannot reach heaven, but try anyway. In their silence, they resemble memory, brief, bright, and gone. And as we rise, the air loses its weight. A single cubic meter here contains only a few 100,000 molecules, compared with 10 billion at sea level. They no longer collide in chaos, but drift like stars in miniature. Sound can barely travel. Your voice would vanish before it reached your fingertips. But light, unbothered by emptiness, moves freely, 3,000,000 kilometers each second. Constant, eternal. Every photon, a messenger, carrying the memory of its creation. You can rest now. Beyond 80 kilometers, the Kármán line waits again, not as a border, but as a breath. It wavers with the day rising and falling as the atmosphere warms or cools. In the morning, it may hover at 100 kilometers. By night, it drifts downward. It is less a line than a tide. And across this invisible tide, Earth and cosmos exchange their whispers. Tiny fragments of meteors, no larger than grains of salt, strike this region at 70 kilometers per second. They burn and scatter atoms of sodium and iron, creating glowing trails that can be detected by radar. Those atoms linger for days, drifting with high winds, painting faint patterns unseen by the human eye. The atmosphere keeps these traces like a diary of arrivals, cosmic visitors, reduced to light and dust. It's okay to drift. And then comes the thermosphere, vast and light, beginning near 90 kilometers and stretching to 500. It is the great middle silence. Here, the sun's energy is absorbed by a few remaining atoms, heating them to thousands of degrees. But temperature is only a number here. The air is too sparse to feel. An object could be both hot and cold at once, warmed to touch by radiation, frozen by emptiness. This is the paradox of the edge warmth, without comfort, motion without sound. Auroras unfold here, shaped by the magnetic breath of the planet. Charged particles from the sun ride the invisible curves of Earth's magnetic field and meet the thin oxygen and nitrogen. The collisions ignite light greens from oxygen at 100 kilometers, reds from it at 200 blues from nitrogen above that, a slow waltz of physics glowing silently over the poles. Each curtain of light can stretch for thousands of kilometers, yet shimmer in perfect stillness. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Somewhere within this layer, satellites begin their endless paths. At about 160 kilometers, orbital velocity becomes possible, 7.8 kilometers per second. At that speed, a spacecraft circles Earth every 90 minutes, passing from day to night to day again. 16 sunrises per Earth day, 16 dusks, each orbit a heartbeat of time. From that height, the horizon is curved, completely. The thin blue line of atmosphere no thicker than a thumbnail. You can rest now. Astronauts speak often of how quiet it feels, even inside the hum of machines. They look down and see continents glowing faintly through the air, storms swirling like galaxies, lightning flashing in slow motion. Above them, a field of stars, steady and eternal. Between a fragile veil, invisible yet absolute. It's okay to drift. The exosphere begins where the thermosphere fades around 500 kilometers and extends thousands more. Here, atoms of hydrogen and helium escape the planet, entirely drifting into interplanetary space. The boundary between atmosphere and cosmos is not a wall but an evaporation. The Earth is always exhaling, a slow leak into eternity. If you could follow one molecule from your breath tonight, it might wander upward for centuries, carried by random motion and sunlight. Perhaps one day it will escape into the solar wind, carried beyond the moon's orbit. Or perhaps it will linger, orbiting invisibly, falling back after millennia. The planet breathes in both directions. You are safe here. Every meteor that burns, every aurora that glows, every radio wave that skips across the ionosphere, all are parts of this breathing system. The edge of space is not an end, but a conversation. Air and vacuum, matter and energy, forever trading their stories. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Somewhere beyond the reach of sound, gravity still whispers downward. It holds every molecule, every craft, every drifting grain of dust. Even the International Space Station, at 400 kilometers, is not beyond Earth's grasp. It falls forever, missing the ground by motion alone. To orbit is to fall endlessly while moving forward fast enough never to land. A delicate balance between descent and flight. It's okay to drift. Imagine yourself suspended there, halfway between home and the infinite. Below, oceans shimmer. Above, stars burn quietly. Around you, the last breath of the world thins into nothing. You are weightless, yet held, alone yet surrounded by the memory of every molecule that ever lived. The edge of space is not a border to be crossed, but a truth to be felt that everything thins gradually into everything else. Air into light, light into dark, matter into quiet. You can rest now. The world continues to breathe beneath you, slow and deep. And as it does, the veil of air glows softly, the skin of a living planet, wrapped in sunlight and shadow. Somewhere, light still travels. The night deepens, and the world's breath turns slow. Somewhere above the quiet of your room, the atmosphere still stirs, not with sound, but with motion. Invisible rivers drift between layers, bending light, carrying the planet's heat from one horizon to another. They have no color, no scent, no boundary, and yet they shape every season you have ever known. You can rest now. We have left the lower sky far behind. Down there, air moves in great looping waves, cells of convection rising from the equator, falling near the poles, each circulation 1,000 kilometers wide. They carry moisture dust and the soft breath of forests across oceans. But higher near the edge of space, the air becomes a thin fabric of motion, a web woven by the sun's energy, stretched tight across the magnetosphere. Every sunrise begins this movement. Light hits the upper atmosphere, first heating molecules of oxygen and nitrogen. They vibrate, expand, and drift outward. The difference in warmth between night and day sends waves rolling through the thermosphere waves of air. So vast, they circle the Earth. At 100 kilometers high, the boundary ripples every morning, like silk touched by light. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Each ripple is faint, yet its rhythm can be measured. Satellites record temperature changes of just a few degrees, moving at 300 meters per second. To the human ear, it would sound like a single note held forever too low to hear, too vast to imagine. Some scientists call these ripples atmospheric tides because they follow the same gravitational rhythm that moves the sea. The moon pulls not only on water, but on air. Each night, the atmosphere itself rises and falls, lifting by a few kilometers, then sinking again with the passing of lunar shadow. It's okay to drift. The winds of the invisible world are not constant. They shimmer and change with the sun's moods. When solar flares burst outward, billions of tons of plasma racing at 1,000,000 kilometers per hour, they compress Earth's magnetic field and stir the air at the edge of space. Electric currents dance through the ionosphere, creating faint magnetic storms that can reach all the way to the surface. Compasses shift slightly, auroras brighten, and in that moment, the planet hums with unseen energy. You can rest now. In 1967, scientists in Norway recorded a strange sound from the upper air, not a noise, but a pulse, a slow oscillation of charged particles repeating every 10 seconds. They called it an electrojet's wave. It is born when solar winds push against the magnetosphere, and Earth answers with its own low rhythm. No human can hear it directly, but instruments translate it into frequencies within our range. When played through speakers, it sounds like a heartbeat slowed to geological time, a reminder that even silence has structure. And as you breathe, the same pattern echoes in your body, the rise and fall of pressure with each gentle inhale, each slow release, every breath a tiny mirror of the planet's tides. The body, after all, is another atmosphere, layered warm, held in balance by motion and gravity. You are part of the same exchange. It's okay to drift. There is a place between 85 and 120 kilometers where the air pulses with waves invisible to the eye. Scientists call them gravity waves, though they are not the cosmic kind that ripple space-time itself. These are waves within the air pressure patterns formed when warm air rises and cool air sinks, bouncing between layers. When a mountain range or storm triggers them, they climb through the atmosphere like spirals of breath. At the edge of space, they may stretch for thousands of kilometers, their crests glowing faintly in the light of auroras. The wind here can reach 300 kilometers per hour, yet you would not feel it. There is almost no air to carry force. Each gust is made of just a few scattered atoms, speed without touch, energy without sound. The quiet paradox of the thermosphere. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Every night, satellites watch this dance. Their sensors detect faint glows of oxygen atoms as they collide and separate. The air's temperature swings by hundreds of degrees between sunlight and shadow. Above the poles, magnetic field lines funnel charged particles into the upper air, spinning them into ovals of color. The auroras shift in time with these winds, each curtain of light shaped by invisible flows of air and electricity combined. Somewhere near the equator, another current moves the equatorial electrojet. A river of charged particles flows eastward around the planet, strongest at noon, fading by night. It carries millions of amperes of electric current through the sky, looping endlessly around the Earth's waistline. It is a silent ocean of electricity, unseen but vital. Its existence was first confirmed in 1957 during the International Geophysical Year, when scientists around the world coordinated instruments to listen to the atmosphere's pulse. That cooperation, people listening to the same wind from opposite sides of the planet, was its own quiet miracle. You can rest now. At dawn, these invisible rivers stir again. Solar radiation ignites the ionosphere, breaking atoms into ions and free electrons. The result is a sea of plasma, so thin it would barely fill a teacup if gathered from a cubic kilometer. Yet it reflects radio waves, guides navigation signals, and links continents. Every whisper of a long-distance broadcast, every song that travels over the horizon, rides upon this sea of charged air. The next time you hear a distant voice on a late-night radio, it may have brushed the edge of space to reach you. Sound turned to signal. Signal turned to air. Air turned to light, and back again. Each message, a small aurora of information. It's okay to drift. The winds above the poles move differently. There, the magnetic field lines open outward into space, allowing particles from the solar wind to flow in. They spiral downward in narrow funnels, colliding with oxygen and nitrogen. The result, auroral ovals, luminous crowns that circle the polar regions. They expand and contract with the solar cycle, 11 years of rhythm, waxing and waning like a slow cosmic tide. Each storm is a wave from the sun meeting the breath of the earth. Sometimes these storms grow strong enough to reach the lower atmosphere. In March 1989, a geomagnetic storm caused power grids in Quebec to fail. Transformers' overloaded lights flickered, and for hours the sky above Canada glowed red as if lit from within. The planet's invisible winds had touched the world of cities and wires, Even our technology breathes with the Sunday. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Scientists now use satellites like Swarm and Icon to map these winds in exquisite detail. They measure the drift of ions at 400 kilometers altitude, recording speeds of 200 meters per second, gentle in scale, vast in scope. They reveal that the atmosphere is not a single sphere, but a living network of waves, tides, and pulses, a breathing world that never truly sleeps. And somewhere between these data and the silence of your room, a thought arises. Every gust, every flicker of light in the upper air, every charged atom moving in darkness, all are echoes of the same beginning. When the young Earth spun from the dust of stars, its gases condensed and cooled. From hydrogen and helium came air. From air came water. From water came life. Each breath you take tonight contains atoms forged in the heart of a sun billions of years old. The wind that touches mountains once moved through the lungs of stars. It's okay to drift. High above the visible clouds at altitudes beyond weather, the sun's ultraviolet radiation splits molecules apart. The result is a slow chemical glow called air glow. Unlike aurora, it never sleeps, a soft luminescence that circles the Earth every night, invisible from the ground, but captured by cameras on orbit. It paints the horizon with a green and red ribbon faint as memory. Through it, our world shines softly against the black of space like a living lantern. Astronauts describe this layer as a gentle halo. At night, when the station crosses into shadow, the airglow remains a thin green outline that marks where home begins. One described it simply, "It looks like Earth is breathing light. You can rest now." The invisible winds touch even the smallest particles. Micrometeorites entering the atmosphere meet these streams and slow, gently burning, not in fire, but in fluorescence. Each grain becomes a brief sparkle, a reminder that even dust participates in the motion of air. Over time, the upper atmosphere collects these remains, metallic ions from space blending with gases from Earth. A thin, shining band of sodium atoms forms near 90 kilometers, glowing faintly when illuminated by lasers from observatories below. These beams measure the winds by watching how the sodium dances. Each shimmer tells of direction and speed of the quiet breath of the upper air. It's okay to drift. And yet, for all its movement, the atmosphere at the edge of space is astonishingly still. A single molecule may travel kilometers before meeting another. Its path is long, its destiny uncertain. Some fall back toward the denser air, below joining clouds and storms. Others escape entirely, leaving Earth forever. This slow escape, called atmospheric loss, is part of every planet's story. Mars once had a thick atmosphere too, filled with carbon dioxide and water vapor. But over billions of years, the solar wind stripped it away. Without a strong magnetic field to shield it, Mars lost its air to space. What remains is a whisper 1% of Earth's pressure, a ghost of the world it once was. By studying our own upper atmosphere, scientists learn how planets live and age. The edge of space is not just our boundary, it is our mirror. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Somewhere light continues to travel. From the sun to the airglow, from aurora to dust, from your breath to the night around you, all of it is part of the same flow. Motion without noise, exchange without effort. The winds of the invisible world never cease. They whisper through centuries across oceans, through the folds of silence. And as you listen, your own breathing aligns with theirs. The same slow rhythm, the same rise and fall. You are within the atmosphere's dream, and it within yours. It's okay to drift. You are safe here. You can rest now. The winds above still move, but gently. The planet turns beneath them, wrapped in its luminous skin. And somewhere between heartbeat and horizon, the edge of space breathes with you. The night has grown steadier. Clouds have flattened into quiet veils, and the wind you once heard in part 3 has fallen to a long, slow breath. Now what holds the air, what holds you, begins to reveal itself. It isn't a sound or a shimmer. It is the shape that everything falls toward the gentle, invisible curve of gravity. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. High above the edge of the atmosphere, folds into the dark. Below, the oceans press against the Earth's roundness, and between them, between sea and silence, gravity whispers its quiet geometry. It draws mountains, inward bends, rivers homeward, and even light, moving at 3,000,000 kilometers per second, must bow a little as it passes through curved space. The universe is not flat. It is a slow, endless descent toward itself. You can rest now. Somewhere 400 kilometers above the International Space Station circles the planet once every 90 minutes, a falling that never ends. Its orbit is a dance of balance, forward motion, always missing the Earth by the width of its own fall. That is what gravity does. It turns falling into flight. It turns the infinite into a quiet loop. It's okay to drift. The astronaut inside looking down sees dawn and dusk 15 times each day. From that height, the thin blue arc of atmosphere looks almost fragile, less than 1% of Earth's radius, a whisper between rock and night. Below it, every bird, every wave, every sleeping human is drawn toward the center by the same silent law. Gravity is the breath of belonging. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. When Newton first imagined an apple falling, he could not see what Einstein later described, that gravity is not a force, but a shape. Matter bends space-time, and space-time tells matter how to move. Every planet, every person, every drifting atom follows that curvature, tracing lines through an unseen geometry. Even your heartbeat obeys it, blood flowing downward, slow and rhythmic, guided by the same invisible pull that turns galaxies. You can rest now. And still, this geometry is quiet. The Earth's surface rushes beneath the station at 7.66 kilometers per second. Yet, from within the calm of orbit, everything feels still. That stillness is gravity's paradox motion that feels like rest tension, that feels like peace. It's okay to drift. There is a point far beyond the exosphere where Earth's pull fades into that of the Sunday. About 1.5 million kilometers away lies the L1 Lagrange point, a pocket of balance where the gravitational tugs of Earth and Sun cancel out. Satellites linger there, suspended between two infinites. They are neither falling toward Earth nor flying free into space, only resting in equilibrium. It's a quiet geometry, the stillness between two poles. And you too exist between poles, between waking and sleep, between thought and surrender. You can rest now. Somewhere, light continues to travel. If we could see gravity, it would ripple, like a slow tide through the cosmos. When two black holes merge, space itself trembles a wave, spreading across billions of light years at the speed of light, yet thinner than the width of an atom. These gravitational waves pass through you every moment, unnoticed, their amplitude smaller than a single proton. The universe hums softly, and you are within its vibration. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Imagine the Milky Way, a spiral, 1,000,000 light years wide. At its heart, the black hole Sagittarius A times anchors the galaxy with a mass 4 million times that of our Sunday. Every star, every comet, every drifting cloud of hydrogen orbits that unseen center. Gravity does not shout. It listens. It shapes by silence. And somewhere, 2,6,0,0,0 light years from that core, our small planet drifts, balanced in the outer arm, like dust on a cosmic tide. You can rest now. Gravity curves time as well as space. A clock closer to Earth's surface ticks more slowly than one above it. The difference is tiny microseconds each day, yet it matters enough that GPS satellites must correct for it to guide your path on Earth. Without those relativistic adjustments, your phone would drift kilometers off course. Even our navigation, even our maps of home, depend on the bending of time. It's okay to drift. The astronaut closing their eyes in orbit feels weightless, but that is only falling too perfectly to feel the pull. Inside blood floats evenly, lungs expand with ease, and the body forgets direction. For a moment, it is like being everywhere at once. The same experience happens in your mind as you drift towards sleep. The edges of thought dissolve, and your awareness hovers, not gone, just balanced. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. And yet, even as you drift, gravity remembers. It waits for the body to rest back into its hold, to press gently into the bed to release the illusion of flight. You are always connected through weight, through motion, through stillness. The earth carries you even as you dream. You can rest now. Long before our planet formed, before oceans or air gravity gathered dust into worlds, tiny particles of carbon and ice collided, stuck, grew heavier. Over millions of years, they became planets. Every rock beneath your feet was born from that ancient attraction, the same quiet pull that binds the moon in orbit, the same that draws tides across shorelines twice each day. Even the sea breathes with gravity. It's okay to drift. Sometimes at night, you may feel your body sinking gently into the mattress, a subtle awareness of being held. That sensation is gravity's lullaby. No matter how far your thoughts wander, you will not float away. You belong to this curvature, this gentle pull towards center. It is not a fall but a return. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. In the vacuum above, temperature, pressure, and air no longer shape matter. Only gravity remains. It sculpts everything, from the arcs of galaxies to the orbits of dust. When you watch the moon rise, what you see is the choreography of that pull. 3, 8, 4, 4, 0, 0 kilometers of invisible tension held in perfect grace. For billions of years, the same motion repeats, drawing tides, marking nights. It is a geometry of memory. You can rest now, and as your breath slows, think of how this same geometry curves the path of comets. One named Hale-Bopp last visited the inner solar system in 1997 and will return in 4,000 years. Even across millennia, gravity remembers its pattern. It never forgets the rhythm of return. It's okay to drift. In every moment of stillness, gravity continues its quiet work, balancing stars, holding oceans, anchoring time itself. If it were to vanish, not even light would know which way to go. The universe would scatter like dust in wind. But it does not vanish. It endures, calm, constant, invisible. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Somewhere beyond the known edge, where space expands faster than light, the geometry continues. Gravity stretched, thin, echoing, across the cosmic background. The farther galaxies move, the fainter their pull becomes, yet their memory lingers. Gravity is the handwriting of existence, and every atom in your body is ink upon that page. You can rest now. The night presses softly against your window. The earth turns slowly beneath you, completing its curve through space. One rotation every 23 hours, 56 minutes, and 4 seconds. It is a rhythm older than the first dawn. You move with it, without effort, without thought. It's okay to drift. And as you drift, the pull beneath you is patient. It asks nothing, demands nothing, only holds. The quiet geometry continues the slope of your breath, the curve of your spine, the arc of the horizon beyond the clouds. All part of the same equation. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Somewhere light still travels. And in that faint traveling, in that unbroken curve, you are remembered, a brief pattern held by the oldest law, a soft weight upon the skin of a planet moving through endless night. You are not falling. You are orbiting home. You can rest now. Somewhere above the clouds, the air has become too thin to carry sound. Winds fade, voices vanish, and only motion remains silent, endless, unbroken. You are still moving, though it feels like rest. At the edge of space, silence is not absence. It is the universe listening back. You can rest now. The thin blue veil that once trembled with storms now stretches into the black. Molecules drift farther apart, their collisions rare, their whispers faint. A single atom might travel kilometers before touching another. Here, even sound forgets how to be sound. Yet movement continues, graceful, slow, unseen. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. At 80 kilometers above Earth, the stratosphere gives way to the mesosphere, where meteor trails burn bright. Each streak is a soundless chord, vibrating in frequencies too high for air to hold. Below, on quiet nights, scientists record faint waves of infrasound, deep tones that roll through the lower atmosphere at speeds of 340 meters per second, slower than light, slower than thought. They are the heartbeat of storms, the size of ocean swells. The planet hums, and you are within its rhythm. It's okay to drift. If you could listen from orbit, you would hear nothing, but you would feel everything. Vibrations travel through metal, through your bones, through memory itself. Astronauts describe it as a pulse in the hull, a quiet tremor when sunlight warms the panels and cold shadow returns. Each orbit a cycle, each cycle a breath. One revolution every 90 minutes, the long drift home. You can rest now. Far below the Earth emits a natural symphony of infrasound. ocean waves breaking on distant shores, air currents rubbing against mountains. Even the auroras above the poles, curtains of charged particles colliding with magnetic lines, release whispers too deep for the ear yet sensed by the heart. It is said the planet sings in a key near 10 millihertz, a tone so low it takes more than a minute for one full vibration. The song of a world breathing in slow motion. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. And somewhere in the vacuum beyond that breath continues not through air but through fields. Magnetism bends plasma flows, and charged particles spiral along invisible lines toward the poles. They move at thousands of kilometers per second, yet they seem weightless, serene. In their motion, there is grace. It's okay to drift. The space between Earth and the Moon is filled not with nothing, but with dust and radiation. Faint murmurs of creation. Electrons flicker, solar wind streams past at 400 kilometers per second, and every now and then, a particle from the sun touches Earth's magnetosphere, ringing it like a vast bell. The vibration lasts hours, sometimes days. Scientists call it a geomagnetic storm. The sky calls it an aurora. You can rest now. From above, the aurora looks like a slow tide of light green ribbons that shimmer, then fade. Each wave marks a burst of energy entering the upper atmosphere, turning motion into glow. At 100 kilometers, altitude oxygen atoms collide, release photons, and fall silent again. Billions of such collisions paint the sky without sound. It is movement beyond hearing. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. The silence of space is never empty. In 2015, the Van Allen probes detected plasma waves oscillating at just a few hertz deep, rhythmic and constant. The magnetosphere sings not for us, but within us. Every time lightning strikes, it sends a pulse upward, echoing around the Earth's cavity between ground and ionosphere. This pulse forms what scientists call the Schumann resonances, Earth's natural background tone. Its fundamental frequency is about 783 hertz, a wavelength of 40,000 kilometers, the circumference of the planet itself. You are part of that wave. It's okay to drift. Even your brain hums near that same rhythm. Neuroscientists call it the alpha state, the calm between waking and sleep. At that frequency, the mind loosens, thoughts dissolve, and perception drifts into imagery. You begin to float between worlds, much like a signal riding the curve of Earth's atmosphere. You can rest now, and somewhere beyond the faint hiss of cosmic background radiation still lingers a relic from when the universe was only 3800000 years old. It hums evenly in every direction, a whisper 2.7 degrees above absolute zero. When your radio finds static, part of that noise is ancient light, still echoing from the dawn of time. Even silence carries memory. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. There are waves we cannot sense directly. Rossby waves flowing through the upper atmosphere, thousands of kilometers wide. They circle the planet in weeks, shaping jet streams and climate drifting slower than seasons. Each wave, a contour of motion, unseen yet persistent, guiding clouds and currents alike. The planet moves, as you do, through cycles of rise and rest. It's okay to drift. In 2018, researchers recorded mysterious low-frequency vibrations from Earth's crust, a pulse repeating every 26 seconds. origin unknown. It comes from somewhere deep beneath the Atlantic, steady as a heartbeat. It may be the rhythm of magma or the song of pressure waves traveling through stone. Whatever it is, the Earth continues to hum. You can rest now. Up here, 300 kilometers above the surface, motion becomes pure geometry. The station moves at 7.66 kilometers per second, a fall that never reaches ground. Inside, water droplets drift through the cabin globes of shimmering silver. One breath sends them swirling, colliding, merging into new shapes. Even without gravity, motion seeks harmony. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Light too moves in waves, shorter for blue, longer for red. But at the edge of night, the boundary blurs. Twilight is not an end, but a mixing. The last photons bend through air, still thick enough to scatter them, turning sky into cobalt and rose. Each color is an echo of direction, a trace of the day's last motion. It's okay to drift. And beneath it all, the planet continues its long rotation, 465 meters per second, at the equator, slower near the poles. Even lying still, you travel thousands of kilometers each night. Your stillness is only relative. You are part of the great turning, a passenger in perpetual motion. You can rest now. Somewhere below, waves crash upon unseen shores. Each impact sends an infrasound pulse through air and rock, too low to hear, but felt in the chest. Migrating birds navigate by it. Whales listen to it across entire oceans. Perhaps, in the quiet of your breath, you do too. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Every sound is motion. Every silence is rest between waves. And you, floating between both, are neither lost nor still. You are tuned to the same rhythm as the earth itself, slow, ancient, enduring. It's okay to drift. The night grows softer. Outside, auroras wane, plasma winds fade, and the world below glows faintly blue again. The edge of space folds inward, becoming sky once more. You are descending gently, not falling, not leaving, only returning. You can rest now. Light still travels, and as it does, it carries the echo of every wave, every whisper, every orbit. You are part of that echo, a brief vibration in the long drift home. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. You are safe here. You can rest now. Light never stops moving. Even when darkness seems complete, it lingers folded inside air dust memory. Each photon carries the trace of a journey, a silent record of where it has been. You can rest now. Inside the heart of every star, pressure and heat collide until atoms fuse. Hydrogen becomes helium. Matter becomes radiance. A single particle of light may take 1,000,000 years to fight its way out of that fiery core, bouncing between nuclei like a thought searching for form. It's okay to drift. When at last it escapes the surface, it joins the great migration across space, 300,000 kilometers each second. The only speed the universe allows for light. Even at that pace, the nearest star's glow takes 4 years to reach our eyes. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Sunlight is younger, yet it too travels far, 150 million kilometers in 8 minutes. By the time it warms your cheek, its source has already shifted, rotating, pulsing, whispering new flares into being. You can rest now. The air bends it gently. Shorter waves scatter into blue. Longer ones drift gold and red through haze. That scattering paints the day the same way distant memories color the mind. It's okay to drift. At dusk, the path lengthens. Light must cross more atmosphere, losing its blues, keeping its warmth. That's why sunset feels slower, the spectrum itself elongating like breath. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Each color is a vibration red, around 400 trillion times per second violet, near 700 trillion. Between them lies every hue we have ever known. They flicker inside your eyes, then fade to electrical murmurs in the brain. You can rest now. Astronomers once imagined light as substance, a stream of particles tangible yet weightless. Later, they saw waves endless and overlapping. Now they know both are true. Light is rhythm and spark, presence and potential. It's okay to drift. Far beyond sight, in interstellar dark gravity curves light's path. Mass bends space, and photons obey that invisible contour. The sky is a lens made of time. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Sometimes whole galaxies act as mirrors, magnifying what hides behind them. Through these cosmic lenses, astronomers see echoes of the first galaxies forming. Each arc of light on a telescope plate is a fossil of illumination, a memory millions of years in the making. You can rest now. Between those galaxies floats a faint glow, the cosmic microwave background, the oldest light there is. It was born 3800000 years after the universe began, when matter cooled enough to let photons wander free. Its temperature now is 2.7 kelvins a whisper, above absolute zero. It's okay to drift. That afterglow still passes through you. Every second, trillions of its photons brush your skin silent, invisible, carrying the imprint of creation. If you could hear them, it would sound like static, a soft hiss between radio stations, the breath of the cosmos itself. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Light remembers motion. When a star or galaxy moves away, its wavelength stretches redshift. When it approaches, the waves compress, blue shift. Through that subtle change, astronomers measure the heartbeat of the universe expanding. You can rest now. Even the darkness between stars is not empty. Photons wander there, absorbed and re-emitted by dust. They scatter, change direction, lose energy, but not identity. Their slowing is the passage of cosmic time itself. It's okay to drift. In your body too, light finds a home. Photons strike molecules in your eyes, triggering cascades of chemistry and current. Within milliseconds, the brain shapes those sparks into image, turning brightness into understanding. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Dreams follow similar laws. Inside the mind's darkness, memory releases stored light, electrical pulses, replaying what the eyes once saw. Every dream is a photograph developing in silence. You can rest now. Even after Death Stars continue shining, their final light travels on, crossing centuries of night before arriving here. Look up, and you see both living suns and their ghosts, each one still offering warmth that began long ago. It's okay to drift. Light does not age. for it time does not flow. A photon leaving a star and one entering your eye exist in the same eternal moment. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. If time had a sound, it would move like light, not as rhythm, but as hush. Each photon carries its own silence, the space between vibration and stillness. You can rest now. When light touches matter, it transfers energy, warmth, and information. Sometimes it frees an electron. Sometimes it fades as color into surface. Every object around you holds layers of that light, absorbed, reflected, remembered. It's okay to drift. A stone warmed by the afternoon keeps that radiance until night. A leaf glows faintly beneath the moon because it still remembers the day. The memory of light is not brightness, it is persistence. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. In the oceans, tiny plankton respond to that persistence. They turn sunlight into motion, creating glowing tides called bioluminescence. Each wave releases cold fire, blue-green flashes in water, darker than sky. You can rest now. The energy came from the sun, traveled through clouds, into waves, and then into living cells that shine when touched. It is an unbroken chain of remembrance, a story that moves as warmth as current, as light again. It's okay to drift. Deep below, creatures glow without sunlight. They make their own illumination, chemical light born from reactions in the dark. Scientists call it luciferin, a molecule that turns energy into glow. It is the same principle as a star, only slowed to the pace of life. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Light does not choose where to go. It travels wherever space allows. And yet, every path becomes meaning. A beam through dust becomes a sunbeam through trees. A reflection in water becomes gold. A spark between two eyes becomes love. You can rest now. Some of that light will continue long after you are gone. Every reflection you've cast, every photograph you've stood in, each glimmer on glass, those photons still travel endlessly, spreading faintly outward into the void. It's okay to drift. In that sense, the universe keeps a record of you, not in words, but in rays. The moment light touched your skin, it carried your outline into infinity. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. The night sky seen from orbit is full of these echoes. Cities shimmer like constellations. Reversed, a map of human light, layered upon the cosmic. Astronauts say it looks alive, as if Earth itself were breathing photons into space. You can rest now. When sunlight strikes the atmosphere from below, it scatters upward, creating twilight above the poles. Those thin curtains of silver blue are called noctilucent clouds, ice crystals glowing 80 kilometers high. They are the highest clouds in the world, the last place where air still remembers touch. It's okay to drift. Even shadow is a record of light. It marks where brightness has been stopped. Without light, there is no darkness. Without darkness, no form. They define each other like inhalation and exhalation. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Inside, ancient glass archaeologists find trapped rays, photons sealed for centuries in crystal. When released, they tell time by luminescence. It's called thermoluminescent dating heat. The relic and old light returns, singing its age in brief, invisible flashes. You can rest now. Our planet glows too. The atmosphere emits faint radiation known as air glow. Invisible to most eyes, it wraps Earth in a thin shell of color, green-red and violet bands rising above the dark. Even when all lights go out, the planet remembers brightness. It's okay to drift. In the core of galaxies, black holes bend light around them. Some rays fall in and vanish. Others orbit endlessly caught in the delicate balance between gravity and speed. These orbits are called photon spheres, rings of light that circle forever without escape. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. There is poetry in that imprisonment. Even in the deepest gravity, light finds a way to remain. It does not surrender. It simply becomes pattern. You can rest now. If all the stars were extinguished tonight, their final light would still cross the cosmos for ages. The sky would remain bright for millions of years, a memory persisting beyond its source. It's okay to drift. Light teaches patience. It travels with no hurry, yet it always arrives. It reminds us that distance is not delay, that what is meant to reach us will find us, no matter how vast the space between. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Somewhere, a comet's icy tail scatters sunlight into dust. Somewhere, a mirror satellite redirects dawn to another orbit. Somewhere, a child opens their eyes to starlight older than thought. Everything that shines continues its lineage through them. You can rest now. Soon you too will sleep, not in darkness, but in stored illumination. Your body holds the memory of every sunrise it has seen. Your eyes still echo with photons of laughter, of day of reflection. It's okay to drift. Light still travels. Across the oceans, through the glass, between atoms within dreams. It has no end, only transformation. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. The memory of light is not gone. It has simply slowed enough for you to rest inside it. You are part of its motion, part of its silence, part of its eternal return. You are safe here. You can rest now. There is a sound at the edge of space. Not a voice, not a note, but a low vibration that trembles through the airless dark. It is the hum of motion itself, the faint echo of everything still moving when silence begins. You can rest now. Out there, where the atmosphere thins to almost nothing, molecules drift so far apart that they meet only once in a lifetime, and yet they still sing. Each collision releases a whisper too quiet for ears, but not for the body's memory. It's okay to drift. Space is not silent. It only hides its sound in wavelengths too long for us to hear. Charged particles spiral through magnetic fields, and those movements create radio waves that stretch across light years. If you could listen to them, they would sound like the slow breathing of a planet in sleep. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Every spacecraft that leaves Earth carries microphones tuned for emptiness. They record the solar wind, the thin crackle of plasma, brushing against metal hulls. Voyager 1 still sends back that static, tiny pulses, born billions of kilometers away, crossing the void like echoes of home. You can rest now. Sound is motion slowed by matter. It needs air or water or ground. In space where matter thins to near nothing, sound becomes vibration, then field, then light. Even silence, then, is only a higher octave of motion. It's okay to drift. Imagine yourself drifting with it. Your body floats just above the blue curve of Earth. Beneath you, clouds stretch like pale continents. Above you, the black is endless and soft. Every movement you make ripples through the thin exosphere, a single human breath, altering the edge of air. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Your orbit glides faster than sound itself, 7 kilometers each second. And yet, inside that motion, there is peace. Weightlessness is not absence. It is surrender to the world's embrace. You can rest now. In the cabin, the hum of machines replaces heartbeat. Fans move air to keep breathing possible. Pumps push water through hidden veins. The sound becomes a lullaby of systems, the mechanical dream of staying alive between stars. It's okay to drift. Outside the window, the aurora dances soundlessly across the poles. Its light moves in waves, but its source is magnetic vibration, solar particles colliding with oxygen, turning motion into color. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Every green curtain of the aurora is a note in the planet's hidden symphony. Scientists call it the chorus radio waves that burst and fade in rhythm with the light. If you could slow them down to human tempo, they would sound like voices rising from the upper air, soft, wide, infinite. You can rest now. The boundary between air and space is not sharp. It ripples like the surface of water, sometimes calm, sometimes stormed by solar wind. Satellites drift through that surf, their antennas tasting invisible currents of sound. It's okay to drift. Somewhere far below, thunder rolls across continents. The same lightning that stirs the clouds sends electromagnetic whispers into the ionosphere. They bounce between earth and sky, circling the globe as endless murmurs called spherics. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Every flash of lightning creates a voice, and those voices travel until they blend into a single background tone, the heartbeat of weather itself. Astronauts sometimes record it as faint, ringing a metallic chime beneath the hush of orbit. You can rest now. Listen carefully in your imagination to the low pulse beneath all things. It is not thunder or wind. It is the planet turning through magnetic silence, its field vibrating with cosmic rhythm. It's okay to drift. Light makes its own kind of sound. Not in air, but in frequency. A silent song of oscillations too fast for any ear. When sunlight hits, the upper atmosphere atoms vibrate, release electrons glow faintly. Those tiny motions create tones that no one hears but which the earth records in charged memory. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Even the moon has its voice. When meteors strike its surface, seismic waves ripple through lunar rock, ringing for minutes like a distant bell. Astronauts once felt that tremor beneath their boots, the slow echo of ancient collisions. You can rest now. Between these sounds, there is space for peace. Every vibration fades into stillness, and within that stillness lies homecoming, a return, not to Earth, but to the quiet center of being. It's okay to drift. In orbit, there is no up or down, only curve. Everything falls forever, and that falling becomes flight. To drift is to belong to motion. You can rest now. Below, storms move across the planet like breathing marks. Their spiral arms reach toward the night side, lightning blooming in silence. No sound crosses the vacuum, yet the body remembers the vibration. It's okay to drift. Every 90 minutes, the spacecraft crosses from day to night. Sunlight floods the cabin. then fades to the dim shimmer of cities far below. That rhythm of brightness and shadow becomes the pulse of orbit, a slow heartbeat circling the Earth. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Each dawn arrives faster than dreams. The horizon ignites in turquoise fire, a thin band of atmosphere glowing like breath on glass. From this height, sunrise is a wave of light sweeping toward you, curving across oceans, rolling over continents. You can rest now. Inside, small drops of water float like planets. Every movement sends them spinning tiny worlds reflecting the blue and gold outside. A single exhale turns them to mirrors of breath. It's okay to drift. Even sound behaves differently here. Without gravity, vibration has no anchor. Voices seem to hover, machines hum in circular tones, and silence feels thicker, more complete. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Sometimes in that quiet, you hear Earth itself. Low frequency waves, the Schumann resonances, rise from thunderstorms and wrap the planet in a shell of sound. They vibrate around 8 cycles per second, close to the rhythm of a resting heart. You can rest now. The astronauts call it the breathing of the world. Even in orbit, their instruments catch those pulses, a reminder that below the clouds, life continues in electrical harmony. It's okay to drift. Through the window, the thin atmosphere shines electric blue. Each photon that passes through it is slowed, scattered, changed in color. That shift makes the air visible, a glowing edge between matter and memory. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Sound becomes light. Light becomes motion. Motion becomes time. Every layer of reality transforms into the next. And within that chain, you drift, weightless, whole. You can rest now. When radio waves leave Earth, they never return. They travel outward forever, carrying voices, music, and laughter into the dark. Somewhere beyond Pluto, those waves pass Voyager's golden record, a message to anyone who might be listening. It's okay to drift. On that record are sounds of wind and rain, the crackle of fire, a mother's heartbeat. They float now between stars, the soundtrack of a world, half asleep, half remembering itself. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Out past the planets, the solar wind fades into interstellar calm. Particles slow, magnetic lines stretch thin. Here begins the heliopause, the true edge of home. You can rest now. Voyager crossed that boundary in 2012. Its instruments recorded the moment when the sun's voice grew quiet and the stars' background hum took its place. It was the sound of leaving and of arrival at once. It's okay to drift. Beyond that edge, space vibrates faintly with cosmic rays. They strike the spacecraft's hull like distant rain. Each impact is a tiny note, a reminder that even in endless dark, something still moves. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. If the craft could dream, it would dream of turning back, of catching again the radio murmurs of Earth, the heartbeat of its makers. But distance has its own gravity. It pulls you outward until stillness feels like home. You can rest now. Somewhere behind you, Earth turns wrapped in thin blue. Its oceans murmur, its forests exhale, its mountains hum in geological slowness. Each sound folds into the next until the planet itself becomes a single tone, a deep, sustaining note of life. It's okay to drift. That note passes through you now. It hums in the blood, resonates in the bones, aligns every breath with orbit. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. At last, the drift begins to slow, not in speed, but in perception. Your awareness eases toward gravity, toward weight, toward rest. The motion that once held you now holds you still. You can rest now. The long drift home is not a return through space. It is a return through sound. The hum of orbit softens into the pulse of your own heart. The distant static fades into quiet air. What remains is the rhythm of breath, steady, sure, infinite. It's okay to drift. Somewhere, a wave of light still travels outward. Somewhere, a signal still carries your reflection into the dark. But here, within the hush of gravity, you have arrived. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. The journey continues, but your part in it can rest. You are home within motion, sound within silence, light within sleep. You are safe here. You can rest now. Somewhere above the night, a whisper circles the planet. It is not carried by air, not written in wind or water. It moves in magnetism, in the invisible tension between earth and sky. You can rest now. Every orbit is a conversation. A satellite passes overhead, its path tracing the curve of gravity's thought. Down below, antennas rise like small forests of metal, listening to the hum that never stops. It's okay to drift. The sound of orbit is older than the machines that hear it. It began when lightning first wrapped the world, when the ionosphere formed as a living echo of storms. Since then, the planet has been singing softly to itself, a note made of electricity and silence combined. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. This whisper travels around the globe every 2 seconds, a low resonance that holds the rhythm of life itself. It vibrates through oceans, through roots of mountains, through the metal veins of cities at rest. You can rest now. Astronauts sometimes describe hearing a hum they cannot explain. It is not the ship, nor their own pulse, but something beyond the earth calling faintly upward. They feel it through their suits, a steady vibration against their ribs. It's okay to drift. In truth, that hum is the voice of the magnetosphere. Solar wind brushes past our planet, and Earth responds with song-charged particles swirling like unseen currents. The result is a frequency too low for ears but not for the skin of memory. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. The orbit itself whispers. Every movement through space bends the lines of gravity, and those lines vibrate just as strings on an invisible instrument. Planets pluck the chords of the solar wind. Moons answer in return. Across billions of kilometers, a symphony without sound unfolds. You can rest now. Some of that music has been captured. Sensitive instruments on distant probes record the oscillations of plasma waves. When translated into audio, they sound like voices, deep choirs of magnetic breath. It's okay to drift. Jupiter's magnetosphere sings the loudest. Its chorus crackles and pulses, a storm of radiation shaped by the planet's spinning core. If played through speakers, it resembles the roaring of wind through crystal, the cry of a giant wrapped in lightning. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Even our moon hums faintly when struck by sunlight. Its surface expands and contracts with heat, producing tiny quakes that echo through the rock. To an instrument, Those vibrations sound like the ticking of glass, the heartbeat of stone. Remembering the Sunday, you can rest now. The deeper you drift, the slower sound becomes. Vibration thickens into rhythm. Rhythm dissolves into pulse. Pulse fades into feeling. Eventually, what remains is awareness without motion, a quiet orbit around thought itself. It's okay to drift. Inside the human ear, tiny hairs float in fluid, swaying to every motion of air. They convert vibration to signal sound, to meaning, meaning to memory. When silence arrives, they rest, but they never stop listening. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Even now, as you lie still, those hairs detect the pulse of your own heartbeat, the blood's gentle tide through vessels. It is the ocean within you reflecting the same patterns as the seas below the stars. You can rest now. Sound travels 4 times faster through water than air. In the womb, that is how you first heard, through fluid, through rhythm, through the mother's hidden song. Memory of that listening never fades. You still know it when the world grows quiet. It's okay to drift. Perhaps that is why the body finds comfort in vibration. A low hum, a soft tone, a quiet drone in the dark, each one touches the ancient sense of safety. It tells the mind, you are inside something alive. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Around the world, whales follow that same whisper. They sing across entire oceans, their songs bending and refracting through currents, changing shape as they travel. A note from one hemisphere can reach another months later. You can rest now. Their calls are measured in hertz, so low that the water itself becomes an instrument. Each tone circles the globe, returning as echo a marine orbit of sound. It's okay to drift. In the same way, the magnetic hum of Earth circles through your body. Every atom you hold spins in tune with that frequency. You are not separate from the orbit. You are part of its resonance. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Deep within, the magnetosphere particles spiral like silver dust. They collide, separate, rejoin a constant rhythm of becoming. If sound could shimmer, it would shimmer here. You can rest now. Far above the equator, the Van Allen belts pulse with energy. Electrons stream along invisible field lines, creating waves that ripple through the ether. The planet hums in long, slow breaths, each one lasting minutes, each one a promise that motion still continues. It's okay to drift. Some of those waves leak downward, where they meet the ionosphere's quiet membrane. There, they become whistler waves, descending tones that slide like raindrops through electric air. Astronauts once recorded them, and the sound was like flutes fading into distance. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. If you could hear the orbit from above, it would not be loud. It would be endless. A faint ringing wrapped around the planet, a soft repetition of home. You can rest now. The whispering orbit is more than motion. It is balance, a constant exchange between energy and stillness. Every molecule of air, every thread of magnetic field adjusts itself to maintain the song. It's okay to drift. Even silence has texture. At the edge of space, it feels like velvet, dense and tender at once. Their vibrations slow until they blur into memory. It is not the end of sound, only its gentlest form. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Inside your skull, neurons fire in patterns that echo these same waves. Alpha, theta, delta, each frequency a different kind of orbit within the brain. During deep rest, the delta waves dominate 1 cycle per second, as slow and steady as the planet's own field. You can rest now. The whisper you hear is not outside you, it is within. It threads through breath, through heartbeat, through the long drift of thought toward dream. It's okay to drift. Sometimes late in the night, a memory surfaces. A face, a scent, a color. It rises like static from an old transmission, then fades again into the hum. Even forgetting has sound. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. The body, half asleep, becomes an antenna. It receives the quiet signals of the world, the refrigerator's sigh, the wind behind glass, the low frequency of distant traffic. All of it folds together into a single murmur, the acoustic shadow of existence. You can rest now, and then deeper still, the internal symphony begins to slow. Blood echoes through the heart chambers. The lungs answer with long tides of air. Your bones vibrate faintly under their own weight. You are the sound you were meant to hear. It's okay to drift. In that drift, language fades. Words lose shape. Thoughts dissolve into pulse. Only rhythm remains. The same rhythm that moves oceans, stars, and time. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. The whisper now is everywhere. It hums through floorboards and fabric, through the curve of the pillow beneath your head. It exists in every grain of air around you. You can rest now. Somewhere above, satellites keep circling. Their transmissions, once coded in numbers, are now just tones stretched across emptiness. They will keep speaking long after we stop listening. It's okay to drift. Beyond them, the moon catches sunlight and sends it back. Each reflection is a syllable in the planetary language, soft, pale, unending. Photons bounce from crater to ocean, from window to eye, from memory to dream. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. The whispering orbit becomes softer still. Your own breathing aligns with it, matching the tempo of the world's magnetic lullaby. Inside that rhythm, thought no longer needs to hold shape. You can rest now. What was once sound is now feeling. What was once vibration is now calm. Every molecule in your body finds its place in the universal chord. It's okay to drift. The orbit continues without effort. Even in sleep, your atoms remain in motion, spinning, resonating, keeping the hum alive. The whisper will not end. It will only quiet until you wake again. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. At the edge of awareness, a final tone fades, a sound too slow to measure, too gentle to name. It carries you inward past sound, past silence, toward the luminous horizon ahead. You are safe here. You can rest now. The whisper fades, and light begins. Not sudden, not sharp, but slow, like warmth returning to skin after a long night. The horizon glows with the first breath of morning, a color that has no name yet. You can rest now. Above the sleeping planet, a line of gold folds itself around the curve of the world. It is the boundary where shadow lets go. It stretches from ocean to mountain, from desert to drifting cloud. It's okay to drift. This is not sunrise as you know it. It is the translation of night into light, the slow conversion of silence into radiance. Each photon that reaches you has traveled millions of years to find its reflection. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. The upper air begins to shimmer. At 80 kilometers above Earth, noctilucent clouds bloom like pale silver veils. They form from ice dust particles, left behind by meteors dissolving in the dark. You can rest now. When sunlight brushes those crystals from below, they glow electric blue, an echo of the stars that made them. These clouds belong to both night and day, hovering where neither truly ends. It's okay to drift. From orbit, the edge of the Earth is a ribbon of color. Astronauts call it the thin blue line. It is no thicker than a fingertip when seen from space. Yet within that narrow band exist all the oceans, winds, forests, and lives. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Light bends gently through it, refracting as it passes from void to air. The shortest wavelengths scatter, first painting the atmosphere, indigo, then cobalt, then the soft gray of waking. You can rest now. Every dawn is an echo of the first. When the early universe cooled enough for light to travel freely, it filled the void with a faint amber glow. That glow has never left. It only changes color with memory. It's okay to drift. Some of that ancient radiance still lingers. It seeps through every atom of matter, through your body, through your breath. It carries the temperature of creation, not fire, but warmth that remembers. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Light is always returning. It does not end when it fades. It travels, bends, rests, and begins again. Every morning is the continuation of a journey begun before memory. You can rest now. On the ocean, dawn begins as reflection. Waves catch the low sun, scatter it into millions of trembling mirrors. Each ripple carries its own brief sunrise. It's okay to drift. Above the land, mist rises. Droplets hold the light, splitting it into color, into miniature worlds of refraction. If you could look close enough, you'd see the horizon repeated in each one, the planet folded into water and sky together. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. In the high air, ice crystals form halos. They bend the sunlight at perfect angles, creating circles, arcs, and pillars that hover without sound. A sundog glimmers beside the real sun-twin fires in a shared sky. You can rest now. Those halos are geometry in motion, the mathematics of beauty rendered in ice. They remind the body of symmetry, the soul of order. It's okay to drift. Light moves slower here. In air and water, its speed drops, but its purpose remains unchanged. It touches it, reveals, it softens. Every surface becomes language. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. The luminous horizon is not a place, but a process. It unfolds, expands, and then begins again. Each dawn is a rehearsal of creation. Each dusk, a gentle remembering. You can rest now. As you drift, the line between sky and thought dissolves. Brightness enters, not through eyes, but through the mind itself. The brain, half dreaming, responds to that inner sunrise, and time slows to its softest pulse. It's okay to drift. Somewhere far above the International Space Station crosses the limb of Earth. The crew floats in silence, their windows bathed in gold. They say the light there feels alive, as if it remembers their faces from the day before. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. They watch continents turn below them, shadows folding back to reveal color. The deserts warm first, then mountains, then forests, each awakening like a page in a living atlas. You can rest now. Soon the full sun rises beyond the edge of the world. But before its fire touches land, its light bends through air, thick with dust and memory. That bending softens everything it meets. Stone leaf thought time. You can rest now. Light passes through you, not onto you. It threads the skin, glances through fluid, reflects from the lattice of your very cells. Each moment you exist is another photon absorbed, another warmth recorded in the archive of being. It's okay to drift. Every color you see is a different memory of the same light. The crimson of dawn, the pale gold of window glass, the silver sheen on river water, all share one origin, one journey that never truly ends. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. On distant planets, the same dawn occurs. Mars glows faint orange beneath a thinner sky. Venus blazes white through its shroud of acid mist. Even there, light finds its way, adjusting, surviving, retelling itself in every language of air. You can rest now. In space, dawn is circular. It wraps the earth endlessly, always beginning somewhere, always ending somewhere else. Half the world sleeps, while the other half begins again. It's okay to drift. That continuity comforts the cosmos. There is never true darkness, only intervals between waves. What we call night is merely the shadowed side of light's motion. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Through atmosphere, photons scatter into blue. Through leaves, they turn green. Through blood, they turn warmth into life. Every living thing is an instrument played by light. You can rest now. Plants unfold to it. Oceans glimmer with it. Even the air glows faintly when struck by cosmic rays. The world breathes illumination without pause. It's okay to drift. Deep underground, in caves, where no sun reaches, minerals store the memory of it. A brief spark of ultraviolet reveals hidden radiance, rocks glowing like trapped stars. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Some stones release that stored light, slowly bleeding color for hours after touch. Geologists call it phosphorescence, but poets might call it patience. You can rest now. In this patience, dawn becomes more than time, it becomes forgiveness. The light does not ask where you have been. It simply arrives, fills the room, and makes the ordinary luminous again. It's okay to drift. Outside birds turn their faces east. Their eyes contain crystals that feel the planet's magnetism. Through those unseen maps, they sense not only direction, but light itself. They sing because they know the sun is near. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Each note they offer adds to the morning spectrum. Sound and light intertwine, waves folded upon waves. What you hear as song, the earth hears as color. You can rest now. As the day brightens, the sky forgets its stars, but forgetting is only transformation. Their light has merged with air, scattered into the blue that now surrounds you. It's okay to drift. Every photon that touched those distant suns has become part of the light around your body. You are wrapped in the afterglow of billions of worlds. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. There is tenderness in illumination. Light never demands. It offers, then moves on. Each beam releases what it touches, leaving only warmth behind. You can rest now. Through your closed eyelids, that light still filters. It paints the inside of thought with gentle red, a private sunrise known only to the sleeper. It's okay to drift. Somewhere, the aurora still dances over polar night. Its ribbons shimmer green, then violet, flowing like tides of sound across magnetic seas. That light is born from collision energy, made beautiful through surrender. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. All of creation follows that rhythm, tension into motion, motion into glow, glow into rest. Each cycle slower than the one before. You can rest now. Soon, the full brightness will fade again into evening, and the luminous horizon will close its circle. But for now, you are inside it, weightless, bright still. It's okay to drift. Light still travels, and as it does, it carries every reflection it has ever touched. Among them, it carries you. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. The horizon widens. The sky becomes thought. The world folds inward to the center of your breath. You are safe here. You can rest now. You are descending now, slowly, not falling, not returning, but softening into the gravity of rest. The sky that once held you begins to fold inward, a blue silk wrapping around thought. You can rest now. Beneath you, the planet glows faintly. Its oceans pulse with reflected dawn, its continents shimmer with threads of waking light. From here, it looks alive, as if every mountain, every river, every breath were part of one long exhale. It's okay to drift. The air thickens gently around you. You enter the upper atmosphere where molecules are close enough to hold sound again. The silence of orbit becomes the hush of wind. It brushes your skin like memory. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Below, the clouds gather in slow spirals. They glow from within, light filtering through water. Water holding light, like thought holds emotion. You can rest now. Each layer of atmosphere feels warmer, denser, more intimate. You move from thin, silver cold into the mild hum of air, alive with motion. Your body begins to remember weight, the language of belonging. It's okay to drift. Every sound below is returning to you, the distant rolling of oceans, the muted thrum of forests, waking the rhythm of waves meeting shore. These are the soft instruments of gravity. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. You cross through veils of color. First violet, then rose, then gold. Each hue dissolves the memory of distance. You can rest now. Somewhere far behind, the stars still burn. Their light will follow slower now, bending through air, scattering into blue. That scattering is the planet's way of holding light close. It's okay to drift. The world grows familiar in outline. You see rivers coiling through valleys, clouds casting moving shadows across land. Every pattern below you breathes. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. You pass the altitude where meteors become light. In this layer, falling stones burn gently, brief, silent flowers of fire. Their glow lasts only a second, but that second is enough to write eternity across the sky. You can rest now. Even as they fade, the air remembers their passing. Ions linger, tiny trails of energy weaving through the night. That residue becomes tomorrow's aurora. It's okay to drift. The descent slows, pressure deepens, but it feels like a hand, not a weight. Every downward motion becomes an embrace. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. When the first sounds of the world reach you again, they are gentle, a low rustle of air, the whisper of your own pulse in the ear. You can rest now. The scent of rain drifts upward. It smells like distance, closing like the edge between sky and soil dissolving. Every molecule of that scent is the memory of a cloud becoming water again. It's okay to drift. You enter the troposphere, where weather is born. Clouds swell around you like dreams made visible. Their edges flash with hidden lightning, heat trading places with light. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Through one thin opening, you see the sea. It stretches forever, mirroring the same blue you once floated above. But now, it feels nearer, as if the horizon has lowered itself to meet you halfway. You can rest now. The body grows heavier, but heaviness is kindness. It tells you that you have a place to land. It's okay to drift. Below the clouds, wind becomes song. It curls through canyons, brushes, forests, stirs the edges of cities still asleep. Every surface vibrates softly, a slow music played by the turning of earth. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. As you move, lower colors deepen. The pale blue of distance becomes the dense cobalt of air. That density hums a vibration too deep to hear, felt only as calm through the body. You can rest now. Somewhere morning birds rise on their first currents. Their wings carve small paths through wind, their flight stitching sound into silence. It's okay to drift. Gravity gathers you now not as pull, but as welcome. It says, you have traveled enough. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Below, the sea brightens with reflection. Light folds and unfolds on its surface, like breathing across glass. You are almost home. You can rest now. You move through the final veil of cloud. Moisture gathers on the skin, tiny beads of water, forming where light meets warmth. The air smells of salt, of green fields of life, continuing. You can rest now. Far below, the ocean opens like an eye. It mirrors the sky perfectly, so that for a moment you cannot tell which way is up. The blue above and the blue below become one, a single, endless home. It's okay to drift. You feel the slow pull of tide beneath gravity's palm. Each current turns like breath within water. The world inhales you, gently drawing you closer to its quiet heart. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Waves shimmer with light that began in distant suns. Each crest, each trough is an echo of starlight translated into motion. You can rest now. Your descent becomes a drift across surface, like a feather following the curve of air. No resistance, only belonging. It's okay to drift. When you touch the atmosphere's lowest calm, you hear the quiet hum of Earth itself, a frequency below all others, a note of 1/10 of a hertz, the slowest heartbeat imaginable. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. The sound passes through mountains, oceans, and bone. It has always been there, a foundation beneath every noise. You can rest now. In that vibration, memory unfolds. You remember, not events, but sensations. The first light you saw, the first warmth you felt, the rhythm that shaped your earliest dreams. It's okay to drift. That rhythm has never left. It followed you through every orbit of thought, every silence between breaths. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. The body lies still, but within stillness, everything continues. Blood flows like quiet rivers. Cells exchange their tiny photons. Neural currents drift like galaxies in miniature. You can rest now. Somewhere rain begins to fall. Each drop strikes surface, sending ripples outward, circles within circles. You listen and realize the pattern matches your breathing. It's okay to drift. Through the window of consciousness, you see the horizon again. Not bright now, but pale and infinite, a blend of ocean mist and soft morning light. It hums the color of peace. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Light still travels. Through water, through air, through memory. Even in sleep, it continues its long migration. You are carried within that motion. You can rest now. Every photon that touched you today will travel outward, scattering into the dark, leaving behind the warmth of your shape. That is how the universe remembers you. Not in form, but in resonance. It's okay to drift. Somewhere beyond this moment, the Milky Way turns once more. Its spiral arms shimmer with newborn stars. Each one breathes light into space, just as you breathe calm into the night. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. The sky folds around you like water around pearl. Weight fades, thought softens. The last sound you hear is not sound at all, but the vibration of everything returning home. You can rest now. Light still travels. The universe breathes through you. You are home. You can rest now. If you're still awake, the next wonder waits in the light ahead.